I give And once again, you know your hands. So let us praise Yahweh with all of our lips. All that is within us. I will praise Yahweh, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your words. My lips know my way. Are we going to praise him? Come on. I will praise Yahweh, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your words. My lips know my way. How precious, how precious are your thoughts. Oh Yahweh, how great are the thoughts of this. How great are the thoughts of this. Come on and lift your voice. We're going to pray. I will praise Yahweh, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous, marvelous are your words. My lips know my way. I will praise Yahweh, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your words. My lips know my way. For Yahweh is precious. How precious are your thoughts. Oh Yahweh, how great are the sons of David. How great are the sons of David.
I am the Abba of the heavens, the Shemayim. Regarding me just one more time. I want to sing and give the melodies from the heart of Yisrael. I thought, I said, I would not want to be in these dead synagogues of hell. There's no life. There is no enthusiasm. They strong on the good Torah, it is dead. There's no life to the music. None. It's dead. It is dry. He told us to make a joyful noise unto God. In the old Baptist paradigm, when they could do nothing, they will make a joyful noise. That's better than some of this. He commands us. This is a generation that is full of folly because it doesn't love truth. I greet you, my friends. You that have joined us for this SHABBAT, this day of rest. That we can rest in the assurance of YHWH HaMashiach, the blessings of riches, that the fullness of his da'at, his knowledge, to discern, to know and understand, may be revealed unto us, that it becomes practical in our lives, and you will know the first peri, or the fruit of that. It will teach you how to care, to love, and consider Israel. I've been to these dead whorehouses. They don't even greet each other. It's cold. There's no life. You can go there. I'll stay among the few here and receive the blessings of Yah among His nation. I want to continue in the teaching that I began before the Achim came some weeks ago. I began to demonstrate unto us the word curse and its different administrations, but it's used as a verb, adverb, noun. And so I wanted to define that in a way not by my own resources, but there are those that have searched the Torah for every definitive of words and word. But I wanted to utilize the resources that I'm capable of utilizing. I don't have to travel the world to get definitives. I can click and I can understand the origin of that word, why it was implemented into the vocabulary of a people and a nation. And so I want to continue on this word curse. I want to inject some of the things that I did the last teaching, just to bring the cognizance, or to remind us of what this teaching is about. We need to understand things, Yisrael. We are foolish. We do silly things, and everyone knows everything. It's not so. If you want to see a sign of stupidity, you talk to one that knows everything, and that is abreast of everything, and that can speak from a platform that will bring understanding that is practical in our lives, that it will work for anyone. It's just not that way. You ordains his messengers, and because one says, quote, Jesus, 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 what a lie. Unquote, I come in the name of Yeshua. No other name. All others are liars and dogs. How about that? I want to redefine this just so that we can become cognizant or conscious of what this teaching is about today. As I said, last week I identified, or the week before last, I identified the two elements of the word C-U-R-S-E, curse. It's important to understand Because all you hear from those that identify as Hebrew Israelites, they can tell you every curse they don't even know, but they will never tell you that Yah says, if you shall shelach, listen to that. Yes. If you will hearken, if you will listen, and he used the word diligently. Now I taught on that some weeks back. The captivation of the word diligently. Now how many of us are diligent about our Father's business? He knows that we are weak. Yes. And so he sends a strong word by a strong messenger. Not just his vocabulary, but his lifestyle. The way he lives, the way he works among the nation of Yah's people. And so he sends a strong word by a simple messenger that his life will prove all things. His life will speak more volume than what he says in verbiage. And so this word carries a connotation that there are elements concerning the word curse. Because all you hear that you, that are Hebrew Israelites, in that realm, I will preference that. Yes. You're cursed people. Who are the blessed people? You call what the Gentiles possess in this nation a blessing. They are beat down. There is no time for husband, wife. Job takes them away. There are so many circumstances. Because one possesses a car or a piece of land, you call that a blessing? Oh, stop that, nation. It is not the berakaya, the riches of Yah's truth and knowledge. If a man possesses a piece of bread, he can live on that. If he had nothing but locusts and wild honey, and just the clothing on his back, he's a man that is rich. He's a man that will be sustained. And so we have this damnable delusion that has been translated from one of the most violent, reprehensible whore. She is known as Christianity. The Jesus temples, and where every kind of violent reproach against Yah is conspired in their minds. And those that were under that trash, they bring that same delusion into the way of Yah. If we shall listen, you must learn how to listen. We are a stubborn, rebellious people. Hallelujah. Yah says, if thou shalt shemach, if thou will hearken, if thou will listen with the purpose and to intent, when it is concluded you have heard the matter, there's a will, there's a pleasure, there is a chafetz, a desire to obey, that it brings the satisfaction of Almighty Yah. And we must do it in a way that is aggressive. We must do it diligently. So I ask you, and you here, how many of us are aggressively, diligently doing what Yah commands us? That we will lie and say we are. The flat out liar. So I bless Yah for the dawn, the blood of Yeshua. He made it all right. He made it all right. That doesn't mean you go violently and sin against the Most High. It doesn't give you that. You're without any excuse, my friend. So the word curse in its various applications, in the Hebraic language, the Ethiopic, the Ugaritic, in the Latin, in the Greek, and also in the English vernacular. I stopped at number 5, which shows the favor, or cherem, on last week. I'm going to finish this because there is too much that I must teach. Through 2018, and 2019. All right?
Yeah.
And so I want to again tell us, I want to show us, I want us to show us the core ingredients of the word curse. It is one that is trifling. As a young lad, I would hear my grandmother and those around when one was not energized, when one was slack concerning their affair, they would say, "That's a trifling old heifer." Some of you all are too young to remember that. I remember it. They would say that. When a home was unkept, and the duties of those things that were not maintained in a proper way, you would hear that verbiage. She's trifling. Or he's a trifling old fella. He ain't not going to take care of his young'uns. And so trifling is one that have no intention, no motivational drive, no will. They have no insight at all. And because of that, they lack with insignificance in the purpose and the duties that they should carry out. And there is no reason that we should be lacking. YHWH has paid the price. He has brought the revelation before our attention. He has revealed himself unto us. And a person that is trifling is empty. They have no substance. They have no will or anything. And so my grandmothers and those that were old, they would use that their verbiage was limited. She's a trifling heifer. I heard them say that. And so you can't tell me I did not. I may have been young, but I haven't forgotten those things. And there is one other ingredient of this curse. It is when one is pernicious. Well, I'm quite sure you understand what pernicious is. It's when one is meant. Let me read this. Quickly, 2 Peter, and 2 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 2. This is this generation that is loquacious. It loves to talk, but it has nothing to say. Peter talks about the time that would be. And he says that we're going to be so simple. He gives us the identity of those that would draw us away from your truth. Yes. He says many. That is Rabbah. That is without numbers. It is great. It is without comprehension. As our Zachim reminds us that we are the salt of the earth. And if we have lost the fragrance of that salt, that we're taught for nothing to be cast out and trodden under foot. And many are going to try to go in, but there will be few that find the way that is straight, precise, and exact. He used the word here again, doesn't he? Rabbah, many. He says, many shall follow their pernicious, their ways are ways of utter destruction. It is the way of utter destruction. Can I refine that and bring it home? Yeah. We have followed our own pernicious ways. We have followed our own lies and our own corruption. It defines a way that is going to bring you down beyond the gates of hell. And many shall follow these. You have them, these things they call prophets and apostles. These effeminate boys, they're young and they have that faggotism in them, especially among what we call the Christian church. Yes. It's a fact. Yes. The ways are like a woman. That domineering mindset of a woman have domineered and raised them. Yes. Not in the ways of God, but many shall follow their pernicious ways. There's a semicolon there, isn't it? Yes. Here's a statement. The phrase that stands alone by itself. And he says, by reason of whom the way of the truth shall be evil spoken of. They will accept a lie. This is the power of that pernicious mind. This is the will of that trifling way that we walk in. Well, I was raised this way. You're raised to be a child of hell.
Yes.
You're raised from the gutters of darkness. That we sin and hot dark in sin. My mother conceived me. In a lust and a driven force, I was conceived in her bedtime. And he said, by the power of that ovine, that iniquity, did she shape my mind. That I question Yah. Many shall follow. Now you won't follow me, but you'll follow your pernicious ways. The evil. Well, nobody's going to tell me anything. Oh, you silly little boy, and you silly heifer. You're mature. You're so dumb of us as people.
Yes.
If we shall shemach, listen to me. Hear what Yah says.
Yes.
We shall receive the berachah. But these are not the blessings in America. These are not the blessings of Yah in Germany or Italy or China. It takes a man from his wife all day and every day. It takes a wife away from the security of a husband and the pleasures of a husband. That she can go to YouTube and gratify themselves with some of the most violent, reprehensible things one can imagine. That's not what I'm teaching today. But it all bears in because you will understand. You will understand. So this is what this extricate is. It is to be utterly abhorred. We should hate that thing which brings about in our minds, in our thoughts, words that make us negate the commandments, the mitzvot of Almighty Yah. We should hate that. It should become an abomination, a vile, reprehensible thing unto us. We should denounce it. I don't care what it is, who it is, you must denounce it. You cannot hold on to a nation. It cannot bring no pleasure upon you. And you must imprecate. You must damn it. That's what it implies. And one of the synonyms is damn. D-A-M-N. Now I use the word damn and you get offended. You silly little boy. That's all you are. A silly, immature little boy, and you're an unclean woman because you think you're clean. It's a fact. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And so we see this exhortation and imprecation that Yah says, in essence, this curse involved that you calling down something upon someone. May I give an example again? Yes. In the history of my life, my mother would say, quote, you will never be nothing. You're sorry. I hate you. Oh, don't look at me all strange, we silly people.
Hallelujah.
She didn't call no dust down or no the particles to fall on me. It was the power of that death in her tongue. Yah gives us 14 verses of the great riches that he should bestow upon us. Just hear what he says. Well, I don't know how to do, just hear what I said. I don't know how to do, just hear what I said. Just do what I say. Well, I don't know how to. That's YHWH. And so, that is the quintessential of a curse. I hate you. You make me sick. Wife saying to the husband, drop dead. Or saying, I despise your ways. You saying that to your husband, your wife, your child? Now, you got to learn something today from this of a messenger of Yah, all right? I got it all laid out. So I don't talk with a volume of insignificant knowledge of matters. I talk from the point of knowing what I'm saying. You understand? So those words were very powerful. And the only thing that saved me, I never allowed them to settle in my bosom to overcome me. And to have a precious issue to say one day you can't do anything. You're a smart man. Well, that I'm not. But there is nothing can be withheld from you. It was no prophecy. It was just a blessing of a dove wife. And when she said that, my whole life became an evolution. Everything changed. Yes. And that's a fact, Israel. The thing that incur the curse or curses. Can I ask you a question? Is America blessed? Don't answer. I ask it rhetorically. You call this a blessed nation? You call those that are in these whorehouses blessed? And they are rich with the values of Yah? They got a profound understanding of the mind of YHWH HaMashiach. You call this dirty, filthy hole we call America blessed? Then how do we understand or perceive the blessings and the curses? Is the curse upon the wicked of Yah? He despises those nations of people. And so the things of those that possess the volume of what we think is wealth, are they blessed? It's crazy. Yes. You tell me a homosexual dog that lives in a $5 million house and drives the business and all, he's blessed? We're crazy. Yeah. We have a deluded mind. We have no concept of Yah. Yes. That's what we say, eyes are free. Because YHWH has made me free. I'm not captive to those things. So what defines the blessings of Yah? And what defines the curse? Curses. You tell me the wicked are blessed? You tell me that the wicked that defies his name, his truth, and I that stress with all that he grants unto me daily to strive in his ways, and I'm cursed? You are an ignorant jackass. I don't take it back. We're going to define this thing for us as we go forward. Is that all right for you all? All right. As I said, I stopped last week at the word, one forms of the word curse. I stopped at the words cherem. Cherem. I brought us to the fifth platform or understanding of the word curse. And it derives basically from the words arach, which is something that is trifling, it is pernicious, it has no substance of value, it is abominable. So even in that, to understand the depths of that curse, or the curses, or the five that I introduce, from the language of our forefather, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, I left us understanding that we still have the favor of Yah upon this nation. That's what the numerics of 5 implies. It is the favor of Almighty Yah. And so with all of that, in all of our dubious ways, the dawn of YHWH, the blood, still stands pattern if we recognize and acknowledge our wrongful, evil, sadistic ways. And you must do that, nation. You must do that, and that's just a fact. You must do that. I want to read this just one more time, that we may understand the word cherem. K-H-A-Y-R-E-M. Cherem. It represents, of all of its definitives, it's a net. that one has been drawn into a thing and sucked in. Someone tell you a lie and you buy it, hook, line, hook and sink. And you buy into that lie. You understand what I'm saying? It is a perforated thing, and what they say have holes all in it. It has no meaning, it has no substance. To give us understanding, I want to show us in Devarim, Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 26. Devarim, Deuteronomy 7:26. This is a promise of Yah if we are disobedient. And this is the reward if we are obedient unto Yah. The prophet Moshe says, neither shall you bring an abomination into your house. What is that saying? See, there are those that would get offended at me when I say that my niece and nephew, she is a butch, damnable dog of a bulldog, and he is a homosexual faggot. And for me to bring that thing, that abominable thing, that violent, reprehensible thing into Yah's house, and they sit and dine at Yah's table, he said, don't bring nothing that is abominable. You know what's wrong? Don't bring that thing which is abominable into your house, your bed. It says that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He said, lest you be a cherem, you be a cursed thing like it. We can play all we want to, nation. We can play around in our own jealousy. Well, it's all right to have that. It's all right to look at that. You want some of the most violent things that promote what they call lies. If it's fiction, it's a damn lie. And your mind is consumed with that. It's a lie. It's an abomination unto Almighty Yah. And you give place for that in the bed of Yah. Where Yahshua, the mind of Yahshua must eat that. Damn you, you wicked thing. I don't care if it's my grandmother.
Yeah.
We better grow up. We all think we're spiritual too.
Yeah.
We don't even know Yah, because as I was studying Torah this morning and looking at things, Yah says, one place, he says, I'm going to kill you. I read things all the time, but I study them. And this is the one that is love. He says, I'm going to kill you. Muth. You and your children are going to die prematurely. He said it like that. I will kill, slay, I will kill you. I will destroy you. We know this Peniani Jesus and the knowledge of that defiled lie, and we try to make Yahshua out of that little faggot, long-haired faggot of a boy. That's not Yahshua. Yah says you don't bring those things that are abomination, or that which is abomination into your bed. Here in your mind, you don't allow that to take root in your mind. There's a comma said, Lisa, you be cherem, thing like it. That thing doesn't talk about Yah. And the things we bring into our home, they don't talk about Yah. They don't represent Yah. You get it out.
Yeah.
You don't allow those thoughts into your mind that do not talk about Yahshua. You don't gather yourself with the foolish and laugh and shut buck and shut jive all day long. You don't do that. You don't grin and skin and play in the devious, wicked world and you're happy about that. No, I won't do that. Even as a young lad, I didn't do it. I was always much older than the men that I was around. I would not act immature like that. He says, lest you be cursed, thing like it. But you shall utterly detest that. You should detest your ways. You should hate your ways and things you allow here, and your functions that you allow to dominate your mind. You know you're not right, and you're trying to pretend like a hypocrite.
Yes.
That's evil. You have a cursed mind. You know I don't love you, and I say I love you, and I got this lie of hatred in my heart for you. You know you're an evil thing. You know you're a cursed thing. You know you're violent or reprehensible thing before Yah. And I want to pretend that abomination unto Yah. He said, don't even bring those kinds of things into my house, into your house. That represents the bed, the house, the dwelling place. It's not YHWH in us. You don't bring those things in here. Yeah. He said, it shall be utterly abhorred. Why? For it is a harem. It is a cursed thing. Look at our thoughts. They must be hated. I hate our thought that. I despise it. And I rid my mind of that. I'm not going to think of you that way. I'm not going to look at you that way. I rid my mind, my conscience. I denounce it. And we hold on to those damnable, evil things all of our life. And you think you're going into the kingdom. You think you're going to get ready at the last moment. Go to hell because that's where you're going. And that's a fact. True. You don't call him a liar. Y'all said they not only make me a liar, but from their mouth, we call him a liar. Yes. You sanctimonious ones, I use that in preference. You think that you're not that way. I will never do that. A lie is any kind of mastering that you're going to present something here and you know you like that there. It's almost like a man that beats the hell out of his wife, treats his children wrong, and then when he comes around children, he's so kind and so loving. Yes. He's not even a dog. Yeah. You pretend you love everyone and you don't. Don't go that way with me. I want to show us quickly here in Ecclesiastes, quickly. I want to show you this harem, this net, this power to entrap you. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 25. This is what Shlomo says, the wisest man. With all the wives and all the concubines, this is what he says. He said, I gave my conscience, I applied my love to Yada, to know, to understand. And then he said, I wanted to search and to seek out the wisdom of Almighty Yah. And why are these things so, Yah? And the reason of things. And he says, I wanted to know the wickedness of folly. Let me say this, nation. We cannot be people full of frivolity. You can't participate in folly and gesturing and jiving. You got to stop that. Yeah. You gather with fools. Yes. Talk about YHWH. See how they scatter like roaches and rats, because that's what they are. He said, I gave my mind to understand the wickedness. You understand what he said? The wickedness of folly, of sporting and playing. He's talking about the Risha. He's talking about the Rasha of Yah, something that is condemned by Yah, and you're condemned if you continue. He said the wickedness of folly, and even of the foolishness and madness. In essence, it is madness. It is crazy. He said, I set my heart to know that. And the resolve that it is crazy, there is madness. Yes. It is beyond comprehension. And then in verse 26, he says, I find more bitter. He said, in all of those things that I set my heart to be smart and to know and to understand all things. He said, I find it more bitter than the maviv, the death. I find it more bitter than the death, the woman, or what the woman induced upon a man's heart, that he would abandon all things by the smoothery of her mouth and her words. I find it more bitter than that. I find it more bitter than that. Whose love, listen now, is snares, whose heart, this woman, this Jezebel, her heart is snares, and nets. It says that, doesn't it? Yeah. But her heart is full of curses. Harem, harem, harem. If I began to embellish things for this person here, because of the folly of her action and her ways, it's because there is a snare of her death upon me. Yes. And the bitterness or the net and the perforated type of things that she speaks, there are holes in everything she says. She doesn't speak from your stroke, but she speaks from the stupidity of her juvenile, immature mind in her ways. He said, I find it more death. It is harem. It is a net. It is a net that captivate the mind of a man, ensnares him, and bring him on the seduction of that. It is a cursed nation. It is a cursed nation of Israel. You don't have to fall into that kind of a net. And her hands, she lay hand when this spirit that draws your hands, and whose hands, her hands are like bands, or grips and vice grips. But he gives me a great pleasure here. Whoso please Yah, whosoever bring pleasure unto Yah, whosoever pronounce and have faith in their hearts to Yah, and sing with rejoicing, he says, shall escape from her. Yes. He will not be brought into that captivity of that harem, that lies and holes are everywhere. This is what he is saying to us. We will not be brought into the net of our own embellishing and our own lies, because we tell more lies than the one that's lying to me. I will say that again. You tell more lies than the one you perceive that is lying to you, all right? We're caught up by our own nets. The spirit of Herod. It is not some little gold dust falling out of the heavens. It is what we allow to fall in our mind, to control every action, every deed, and the way that we walk. This should be the roadmap and the master of our mind, that we remember and keep the mitzvot of Yah. We guard them with all of our integrity. When you fall, you just fall on the sword of death to destroy the element of your flesh, and that same sword that you fell upon and the same blood that drip, he will infuse you with the blood of Yeshua, and he will give you the power of the sword of the word of Yah, that the powers of hell cannot speak to your mind, man. Power of your own will will not overcome the Davarim, the promises of Yah. So that's the sword he gives you. It's a Torah, word of Yah. I'd rather have that than to have my word. I take his word on all things. I don't take my word for nothing. It is his word that I speak to you, all right? So I take his word on all things. Everything. He says, whosoever pleases Yah shall escape her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. What is the sinner? When one defies the Torah of Yah, when one goes against the will of Yah. Yes. We know what it takes to please Yah, and we go against that. We have this kind of pseudo-religious profession. We pretend we have it, but we're full of our own lies. Nobody made you do that but you. No, I didn't make you do that, liar. You did that because you're a liar. You did that because you're corrupt. And your ways are pseudo. They're not real. They're not genuine. And that's why you were snagged in the neck by that effeminate spirit upon you. You don't have to love me. You're not in a class by yourself if you don't like me. It makes no difference. I don't care. I don't care. Hallelujah. Ever see the Lord Father? Yes. Let me speak what's Michael. And he gives unto us this Haran, this pervasive power and the prevalence of wickedness. Look what it says in Michael 7:2, all right? The same illustration of how that this woman, this spirit in your mind that is void of his truth, it speaks curses to your mind. It speaks to Haran, and it speaks lies to you. You're caught up in those nets. You understand, nation? Yes. When the liar of all liars spoke to Yeshua, he retorted with, we don't live by bread alone, but by some of the words that, but by some of the words, but by every, he said, whole, by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yah. That's what we must live by. Do I have full comprehension of that? No. but you will if you love him and you strive to please him. Look at what the Nabi says to the prophet Michael. He says the faithful or the hot seat. The faithful, when one, Yah calls a man a faithful man, he is a man of chesed. And when Yah calls a faithful man faithful, he is what Yah calls a tough man, quote, a goods man, unquote. It is almost like one said, a daughter said, quote, my husband is a goods man. He loves me, he provides, he honors me greatly. He's a goods man. And because he's a good man to me, I will be a good woman to him, unquote. That's why when a man finds a wife, he finds a tough thing. And that man receives favor of Yah. And every wife ought to want to be an excellent wife. You're sick in your damnable, stupid mind. Because it will procure love unto you. Husband, love your wife as YHWH HaMashiach loved his son. And you don't talk to them like a dog or servant or dog. She is me. She represents the beauty of my strength and the personality of my strength. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Not only that, but she will add life to the man. She will make him live. And she will make him live a prosperous, long life. He has favor of Almighty Yah. I don't take away from the daughters of Zion. But I don't like the spirit of this age. I don't like it. So of all things, daughter, you shape yourself to be a wife. You're not looking for some sensual pleasure. You can't even appreciate that because that's all it is. It doesn't mean a damn thing. Can I go further? He says, the faithful man is perished out of the earth. That's what he said. Where are they? Where are the men that are faithful? As one would say, quote, there ain't no good man no more. You can't find one, unquote. Now your daughters, your women know you will see that. He said that the tough man, the faithful man is perished out of the earth. And he says, there is none, lo, no possibility, none that are yashar, they're upright, they're straightforward among men. There's none. But I make the statement, I've never lied to my wife. I know how people in their stupid, corrupt minds think. I've never had to. I haven't had to lie about women or money or nothing. I had to lie about where I was going for all day because she's always been with me. I've never had to lie about anything. I've never lied to my wife. I've never lied to her. Didn't have to, for what? For what? I know we think that's strange, but it's the truth. He says, they all lie in wait for blood. That's the way we are. For our daughters and our brothers and our sisters, that this is a curse. This is a harem. He said they all lie in wait. They suit or they hunt. They set in wait as though, that's what suit is, like they're hunting for an animal. He says, and they hunt every man his brother with a harem. Is that word right there says N-E-T, doesn't it? But in the Hebraic language, it is harem. They lie in wait with a curse. To speak lies to their brother, their sisters, their kinsmen of Yisrael. They lie in wait just like an animal to speak lies to them. They lie in wait to bring them down to the depths of depravity and deference like them. There's not one that is building one up in the most high imunah or the faith of Yah, but they lie in wait with their necks, with their curses, the words to destroy and to embellish and lie and to entrap you. That's evil. Yes. That's violent. And you're going to die. And you're going to die. So you tell me that the blessings of Yah in America and around us, I'm blessed because He gets me up to work at, but at the end of the day that I know I've done it for Him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've done it for Him. I have to make sure whatever I do it for Yisrael, that they may enjoy. And all my labor, whether it's pains or whatever, that they may enjoy the abundance and the bountifulness. Having foods, raiment, be contented.
Yeah.
That's the blessing of Yah, to be contented. This filthy whore of America, with their big houses they perceive, and they got gated communities. By the way, that's where all these big shot preachers, they live in gated communities because you're nothing to them. You're a small fry of a devil, and they don't want you in their homes.
Yes.
They don't want you around them. And so they go to a community with devils and they gate up in there with them. And when the devils throw a party, they invite the preacher and he comes too. They're dogs. They're dogs. And we as a nation cannot even appreciate a genuine man. That you can watch, you can see his life. We don't give a damn about one like that. We don't give a damn. Haran. But in all of that, in the fifth one, he's going to show his favor today, all right? Did you buy that? Every man sits a net for his brother. There is a profound utterance of the word curse. You ask those young men on the streets of every corner in the metroplexes of America, they cannot even tell you what the word curse means. But 2018-19, we're going to understand all things. I'm going to teach it to us, all right? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I will teach that to you. There's a word in the language of my forefather, Abraham would use it. He used the words me'arach, me'arach, me'arach. It shows the exhortation, a curse that is violent, abominable. It expressed itself. It's almost like someone looking at you and you know they despise you. Oh, don't sit there like that.
Yes.
Never want to hear what you got to say. These are devils. Let me bring attention into that word, right? Let me bring attention to that. And the only way to do that is out of the book, right? We'll go quickly to Shlomo, Proverbs, Mishli 3:32. Proverbs 3:32. He talks about the lust of the loser. He says, Proverbs 3:32, he talks about the loser of the forward man, the forward woman. What is the loser? When one speaks to us truth, or one that is forward, they turn away from every kind of counsel, every kind of truth, every kind of word. They turn away from the Torah, and they resolve things about the wickedness of their own concept. So he talks about a forward. The forward person is abominable unto Yah. You talk about Yah, they want to talk about some damn basketball game. You talk about Yah, they want to grin and skin. You talk about Yah, they want to inject other things. You talk about Yah, they're not enthused about it. They have no power of testimony because they're not worth a damn thing to Yah. I'm not taking nothing back. Yah awakened me and I'm happy every day I get up. I'm glad to awaken at 4 a.m. I get up at 4 a.m. every morning. Very seldom I don't. Even on Sunday and the Shabbat. I lay there to 5, but yeah. I'm glad that Yah awakens me that way. With no animus in my mind, my heart, no animosity, no ill. You wake up like that because you went to sleep that way. And woe unto you, devil. Woe unto you. You can have no animus in you like that because it's a forward mind. It's a forward. He says the forward is an abomination to Yah. But his his secrets, his wisdom of things, they are with the upright. They are with the Yasha, those that live right and walk right. Listen in verse 33. He talks about the me'ara. He said the curse, this bitter curse. Have you met one that is always bitter? And always got something in their minds. They act crazy, they talk crazy, they're always bitter about the smallest of things. That's a curse. It is a me'ara. They act bitterly. They have no social depth. The damn thing my mother said to me bothers me today. My mother called me everything from a bastard, the son of a dog. She was my mother. But that didn't affect me.
Yeah.
Gave me a blessing.
Yeah.
He says, you're a tough man. You're a beautiful man. I like that. Oh, that's tough. Don't get quiet on me, all right?
Yeah.
This is what he says, the me'ara, the curse of Yah's bitterness. When Yah curse one of that nature, when Yah place that me'ara upon one, they're always bitter. There's no kindness about one like that. There's, as Granny would say, there is no sweetness. They're not sweet. They're not kind. They're men that are not sweet to their wives. They're wives that are bitter to their husband. And that's just a fact. He calls it the me'ara. He said, Yah is in the house where of the wicked. This is just not my house, that physical abode there. But this is my house. Yes. Your house is my house, although I don't come to your house. But it's still my house. This place is my home. And so that spirit in the house of the wicked, what is the Rasha or the Risha? One that openly and blatantly defies Yah and says, I don't give a damn what you say, Yah. You're not going to tell me. Or you talk that way. Your actions, your life talks greater to Yah than what I'm saying. Your lies speak with a profound volume. Your stubbornness, our wickedness speaks more profound than them. Bitterness against Yah, He has placed that thing in you. You're not coming from under it. That's why we must examine ourselves by this book. That's why he sent us to the fuller today. You're at the fullest place. And he's got the soap, as they would say, well, wash your mouth out with soap. No, I'm getting down into your wicked nature, your corrupt mind that is filthy. And I would tell you your mind is filthy. I would tell you your mind is corrupt. That's a fact. Fact. It says, but the me'ara, I'm not wicked. What is a wicked person? One that has a motive to defy Yah. Can I show an example? Don't raise your hands now. All of you all love Yah, though. If I went to any place and I said, everybody, I said, raise your hand, everybody. Not because I don't want to put you in a bind, all right? We love Yah. But He gives us a commandment that is equal to that. The same. To love my neighbor. You see the damn hypocrisy? You love your neighbor. I show you one that is of the same magnitude and that is equal. To love Yah with all your mind, your strength, and all of your nefesh. And to love, I show you one, the same. This is the composition of Torah. To love your neighbor, your ra'ah, your friend. And our neighbors should be our friends. He's my friend. He's my friend. I got friends here. They're my neighbors. They live close by. I don't even have to have a telephone to call them. I've got something that is inexpensive. A walkie-talkie. I don't have to have Wi-Fi. We have spoken curses and lies upon each other. Oh, I hate you. Get out of my face. What would I do when my mother talked to me like that? I would feel so remorseful. I would cry. And then I would do something. Wash all the dishes and mop the floor. I'm not lying to you all. Do the laundry and do everything. And then her approach to me was so kind. She didn't know how to say I'm sorry, but she was very kind. She was very kind. Yes. That's a fact. The curses, the me'aravya, is in the house of the wicked. So what do we call curses or blessings? America! Are we wicked? With all these cars, we gobble up all the gas in the world. We eat more food than anyone. We throw away more food than anyone. We waste the resources and everything. You call that a blessing? You silly little boy. That's not a blessing. All your time is spent serving a master. You cannot serve two masters. You're going to love one, hate the other one. You can't do it. I don't care who you are. You're going to cleave to one and you're going to despise the one. Fact of the matter, and that's a fact. What master? Your own mastery of your own wickedness. Yah says, I have a curse in your house because you're wicked. So how do we differentiate between the curse and the blessing? Where do I go and find the blessings, Mr. Hebrews, Miss Hebrews? Where do I go find it? Show me how I identify the blessings of Yahweh. You're blessed. You hear this today. Hallelujah. You're blessed to allow this to reprove you and set your life in order. You're blessed, all right? There's a colon there at the end. But he blesses the habitation of the Sadiq. Now I must understand that's a different teaching. I'll teach on that. What is the Sadiq? Who are the Sadiq? Are the righteous? He says the blessing, but the blessings, the berachaya, the riches of this knowledge of fruitfulness, that you can walk in the room in your ragged clothes and you will outshine every devil, every wicked one, every millionaire, Mr. Trump, Mr. Obama, all them devils, the children of hell. Yes. I know I do. And that's a fact. Yeah. Young people have their way with me. They see an old man like me. When I went out to get the thing yesterday, I was at a rush because my babies needed popsicles. I got more than what they needed. That's right. And so this young little, she was probably 23, 24. It's one thing that missing in a lot of lives of the young men and women of my youth, no fathers. And so she sees this old white-bearded man, and she looks at him and says, "Hi, how are you doing, sir?" Some silly old man thinks that she's trying to be fresh. No, she saw something that was refreshing. And I was as dirty as they come in a hurry, young lady. A young one, I got to get out of here. I got to get home. I got things to do, things to finish. I got work to do. I got a greenhouse to work in. Well, I did the work that morning in the greenhouse before it got 124 degrees in there. That's what it was. I went in, it was 120, went to 122, then it went to 124. That ain't nothing to play with, you understand? But I know we will enjoy the bountifulness of the labor of us actually doing that, all right? So this me'ara in the house of the wicked, but he blesses the habitation of the just. I want to know his blessings. I want to know American blessings. I want to know his blessings. American blessings say, get a house, 40 years you pay for. That's not a blessing. Y'all blessings say, take $1,500, buy this, build your house, and live comfortably. That's the blessings of Yah. And learn how to live with the nation, to enjoy each other. I don't want to live nowhere else. I could have worked for another 20 years at that place I worked. And I could have had what the world calls a nice retirement. It wouldn't have been nice. And segregated from you, no, I'd rather be with you.
Hallelujah.
I'd rather live with God's people, be around them. Hallelujah. Let me give you another example of that in the 20th chapter of Proverbs. These words, I want to show you two things, all right? Now, this identifies us because, as Granny was saying, we're sneaky. Boy, you sneaky there. We hide ourselves from others. Proverbs 20:27. It says this, he that no fund grant, bestow unto the only. Proverbs 20:27, to the poor shall not lack. You give to Yisrael and you will never lack. You shall never lack. Send a colon there, an independent clause that is adjacent with the first that I read that gives great clarity now. But he that hides a lamb, what that mean? He that hide himself, hide his eyes, shall have many curses. The eye there is ayin. You hide your lies, how you feel about an akho and a hot. You hide in your lies and we pretend we care. If someone is poorer than you in the ruach, then you give unto them. The damn hypocrites. We're hypocrites. If you got a wealth of something, knowledge, then you give. You can't hide your eyes, your knowledge. The words ayin. Ayin is talking about the liba. You can't hide your wisdom, your truth. You can't hide your secret lies and your corruption. Yah said that's the curse. And that is how this is produced upon you. Because you know you're a hypocrite. You're saying one thing and you're doing something else. You embrace me today and say, brother, how about you? And you know you don't give a damn about me. You embrace the daughter, oh sister, you don't even want to embrace. You don't want to greet them with a kadosh kiss. You are a damn hypocrite and you're going to hell. You pretend but you are a damn liar. And making it real. That's what the book says. I can look at every last one of us. I want you. It's a damnable shame if you can't look at me and tell if he's real, he's false, he's a liar. You can do that. So I can look at you.
Yes.
And tell you about you.
Yes.
Don't think you hide it. Nobody has to tell me a damn thing. I can look at you all. I don't need nobody to tell me nothing.
Yeah.
The children tell me everything about me. They really do. These older ones, they're getting too old now. The young daughters of Zion, I like the young ones to sit with me. Happy. The older ones, they're older, all right? They're growing into that. Okay.
Yes.
So if you can look at me, you can look at others and tell, she ain't right, he's false. Well, let me tell you one thing, my friend. I can look at you and tell you your thuggery of lies and your own damn corruption. I don't need nobody to tell me that.
Yeah.
The truth examines you and it shows you.
Yes.
You see, he's giving us another chance today. You don't want the Allah of Yah upon you. I don't want to be bitter toward one. And when that thing, Yah puts that upon you, you are bitter. You will never be friends to no one. You can sit down in a congregation of people, you will never even try to assist or help anyone. Because you don't know how to love. Let me tell us all this. We have a gathering in the Achim. They have no sensitivity to one another. That's why I like to stay away for a while and let them just talk. That's why, for that I don't sit in the dining hall. Because I'm loquacious. I've talked enough and I'm tired. But that's not righteous. You have no excuses. Hypocrites and liars.
Yeah.
No one's like that. It's a fact. And I don't care if you're done like you're in the company with the devil. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? One more quickly. I want to read that again, Proverbs 20:27. He that gives to the poor shall not lack. You will, if you give to the poor, those that are poor in ruach, whatever, you give to them, you will not. But he that hides, ulam, you that are secretive. You know, you get together, want to be ulam, you want to be secretive. You can only talk with her because she's a damn hypocrite. You're going to find a hypocrite like her, and you're secretive. That's what ulam is, you hide it. You're so secretive. His eyes. You got an emotion, a feeling about one, and you can't be honest. Yah breaks the shackle that way. Shall have many a ma'ara. You're going to always be bitter. You're going to be bitter at your husband, your wife, your children, your son, your mama, your dad. You're going to always be bitter. Nothing will make you sweet. You will never be sweet, hypocrite. And I'm talking to who? I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of you. Period. Hallelujah. One last one. I want to show you the catalyst of this me'ara. And people that you know, they will get bitter about this. Can I read it first?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you. It says this in Melchia. Let me read it. It says, if you will not shema'acha, we must diligently hear. If you will not hear, and if you will not lay it to heart, to give honor to my name. To give honor to my name, says Yah of hosts, I will even send a me'ara, an expectation. This is what Yah says. You damn his name in front of the evil wicked. You won't even mention his name. You will accept the damn gods and the talk of a violent God, but you will not. You are shame. Yah says, I will send, I will put my curse in your mind upon you and everything that comes from you. I take nothing back. If you all walk out, find you some lame brain of a person to teach you. That's right, old woman. Listen, you will rock him even on the dying bed. If I get nothing else out of you, I want you to see that. Don't be silly, she's getting old. Don't be silly. Praise him in the morning, the noontime, the nighttime, all the time. I call his name. Give honor, God. Give kabod unto his name. I'm not going to let nobody talk that Jesus talk to me. They can't do that. You're not going to do that. Hallelujah. He said, Yah says, I will even send you a curse. Malachi 2:2. I will send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. Man, that's bad. Only Yah can do that. I will curse your blessings. Yes, I have cursed them already because you won't even lay it to heart. I don't give a damn if it's your grandbaby, your great-grandbaby, your great-great-great-grandbaby, your grandson, your great-grandson. When they defy his truth, his name, his Shabbatot, his day, their curse. I will not add credence to that. Not to listen to what I'm saying. I will not let them. There were things I didn't let my mother do. You can't come here and do that. No. You can't smoke in my house. You come to a house, put on a dress. That was just, that's the way I did things, and that's the way she came. It is amazing that there are companies that demand a certain dress code. There are companies that command you cannot go to Rome and the basilicas there, go in there with the pants on. They got dresses and skirts that are made of paper. You gotta buy that before you go in the basilicas there in Rome. And we are ignorant and crazy. If a woman puts on a man's garment and a man puts on a woman's garment, it's an abomination, isn't it? Yah says, don't even bring anything that is abominable into your house. Don't allow those abominations to come into your house. You see, you can try to attack it. And that's what we do by our emotions. You can't attack me. It makes no difference. But she's my grandbaby. I don't give a damn much who she is. Yet we will always make amends for those, and we'll always justify them. He that justifies the wicked and condemn the righteous, Even they both are an abomination to Yah. Who? That wicked one you justify, and you are equal. You condemn the righteous, and you make, oh, she ain't bad. Who was that telling me? Something that someone was telling me, one of my kinsmen. And everything they express, everybody's doing, quote, good. Oh, she's doing good. Oh, they're doing good. Everybody's doing good. I don't want to do good. I don't want to do good according to the linguistics. I want to do right. I want to do right. I want to do right, all right? And so I gave us the 6th curse called Mi'ra. What is Mi'ra? That's the 6th one. What does the number in Yah's numerics represent? It represents the weakness of flesh. You see how weak our flesh is? It'll do these things. That's why we must impel it. We must bring it down to the gutters of hell. How do you do that? You must tell yourself you're wrong and stop lying to you. Stop lying to you. Quit pretending you're all right. You're flat out lying. It's one thing I've learned in life. When someone complains all the time, you better know something is sick in their mind. I don't give a damn who it is. When everyone is against me, when everyone is coming against me, something's wrong with you. It makes me no different. Yah says, even for us to bless our enemies, to do right. And so you don't have any kind of inklings of the knowledge of Almighty Yah. Period. That's how stupid we is. We is stupid. We. See that? There's a word in Torah. It is only mentioned one time. It's a form of a curse. It is called the Nigiri. It is a curse. So which one of the curse, you people of the dark, you, that they call you Hebrew Israelites, which curse or which judication of curse are you under? There are 14 in Torah, and the word curse is pronounced 14 different ways, all right? You got a student here. He's not a smart man. You got a student that loves Yah, all right? When I'm tired, I work as hard as any of you all. I will take that back to a great degree. I say that because I will give everything I've got to effort that's in it. I will do that. I'm not going to cheat you on that, Aki. I will tell you my knee is hurting this. I just can't get down there. But I'm not going to cheat you on the other end. I'll serve you, all right? But there's a term called micharif. It is a curse. He that is often reproved, and you stiffen, you harden your heart. Then there's a sudden thrust of death. Destruction enters in, it cometh. It cometh. And it's going to come without any kind of warning or any kind of preparation for that. Yes, I'm going to keep you. So he identifies that as Micharif. I want to show you how that is properly expressed in Torah and Deuteronomy chapter 20 verse 20. It says this: Yah shall sit upon you cursing. He's going to send vexation and Micharif. Now I'm going to teach on this for the 2018. Don't worry about Devarim 28. And all that you set your hand to do. Why? Until I destroy or you be destroyed. He says not only that you're going to perish quickly. Why? Because of the wickedness of your doing, whereby you have forsaken me. It is one thing when Yah sends his Micharif. When he rebukes you, you hear. Wise man, wise woman will hear a rebuke, and they will love you even more. But a sottish fool, you don't hear no kind of correction. You're not going to hear any kind of correction at all. And if you try to correct a fool, they will despise you. You've never been that way, have you? God will, my friend. Ain't nobody tell me nothing. I'm a man. I'm a woman. I silly thing. You're a child.
Yeah.
You're questioning your own ability. That's why you say that. Use the word metami. Only one time here that this word is used when it talks about the rebuke. He's going to send a kind of rebuke, a reproof. That it is only mentioned one time, and the only way we're going to understand that is that Yah must open up the pages of Torah by the revelation of Yahshua.
Yes,
he hasn't opened that to me. Maybe you know everything. I'm quite sure he's opened that to you, all right? But he hasn't. And I can only give you what he's given me right here from where? The book. He didn't talk to me, and he's not talking to you in no way but this way out of the book, all right? But he gives us that. It is only one, ikhad, only one. And he gives us that. I studied the Torah for hours to look up every dimension of every word and everything. And this fell into the seventh spot of the curse. It means that when we hear this year's teaching, there's going to be a resurrection. That's what 7 implies. There is resurrection. He's going to perfect our thinking through ruach. That's what it means, resurrection and perfection of ruach hakodesh. And so the ruach speaks to us today. It is ruach that speaks. And it calls us to be alive. And when something is alive, it produces life. It progenerates. It makes us stronger. It makes us more determined. It makes us willing to do it. Anything that is a curse in your mind, you become degressive. You're not aggressive. If you shall listen diligently. You see that?
Yes.
You got to hear and impel your wicked self. You're wrong, say I'm wrong. And you are wrong.
Yeah.
I would not even want to be right all the time. Because it builds this soothing arrogance. You become ignorant. As Granny would say, you become uppity.
Yes.
And that's the way we are. You're not right. There's nothing right what I do. And there's nothing right what you do.
Yeah.
Even your own right is nothing but a niddah. It's like a rag that a woman takes off after her administration. Who wants to touch that? That's what your righteousness, your rightness is like. And I don't care if you don't like me. That's all right with me, man. I'm okay if you don't love me. Because I know you don't love him. Moving on quickly. There is one called SHABBAT. SHABBAT. It's a form of a curse. My mother didn't know what she was saying to me when she was saying, quote, you're good for nothing, son of a. She didn't know what she was saying. She was ignorant. And I say that in the sense my mother, she hadn't had nobody to love her or have the sensitivity of what love was. She had babies. She had 6 of us by 6 different men. But she didn't know what love is. And I was determined as a young 12-year-old lad. I went down between the trees and cried when she beat the hell out of me that day because I whipped the father and the staff for one reason. You didn't play the dozens back then in the 50s and 60s. You don't even have a daddy. Oh my, he had a father though. And I said, buddy, we go throw down. And I whipped the father. He went to my house with my mother. I did. She got a stick and she beat me. She beat me. That's the day she told me my father's name. And I went down between those trees and I cried. I can take you to that spot. And I said, I didn't know you. I said, God, if you give me a way and leave, I will love them. I will be honorable. And I just sat there and weep. I went back there and finished washing. We had one of those ringer washers. It was a cold day too. Didn't have no gloves. She tries to show out the time, but we had gloves. I said, well, I put socks on my hands, so what? I had a raincoat. I said, well, you're trying to be nasty now. And to show you a rich self off. And I have a raincoat. And I'm relative. I said, all right now, you pressing it. But I had no umbrella. And a piece of plastic. You threw that over you. But I made that commitment that day. My mother didn't know. She didn't know that. And a lot of years she loved me because she wished all of her children were like me. They would have all been in the mess they're in now. All right, let me move on, all right? I want to deal with this word, SHABBAT. It is when one speaks a curse against each other. I hate you. I don't like you. You make me sick. Come on now.
Yes.
I got a bunch of little babies already.
Hallelujah.
I got him now, okay? Didn't come to him, but I got him.
Yeah.
All right, hallelujah. Let me go on. Kabab. Yah uses kabab, but he's talking about a curse. It is the most utter of all curse. It is death. It is destruction. It's mentioned one time in Torah. And I show you where it's mentioned. You all know the history of Balaam, don't you? Only one time where it's mentioned. And I will show you that. It's in Devarim, Numbers 22:11. He says to Balaam, behold, there is a people, they have come out of Mizraim. They cover the face of the Olam. Now, stop that, Balaam. It was so many, it was only about 5 million. I can imagine that crowd. And they all had one thing in common. They all had to defecate. They all had to urinate. Somewhere, somebody. And they had to do it outside of the camp too. What kind of privacy? You ain't not got no privacy. You ain't not got nothing. Well, I like my private moments. You have none.
Yeah.
And behold, there is a people come out of Mizraim. They cover the face of the Olam. He says, come now and Chabab. Meet them. It's like this. That I say to my friend, he's that way with me. And I try to persuade his mind and convince him that he may join me in a collusion against him, and that we will speak things that are nothing but curses, cause death upon us. That's what Balaam did. That is what Chabab is, nation. That you will speak against one and knowing that they are not doing you wrong. You have lied against someone, you know they haven't done you wrong. Because they infringe upon your childlike feelings, so what? Grow up. Stop being a little girl, a little boy. Grow up. Get some courage, all right? That's so silly. As my boy was saying, dropping that weight, man. I ain't now, man. You know what someone says about me? I've never allowed that to. And this is what he said. That's why that word is only. I just read us two that Megarith and Kabab only used one time. Now, which one, Hebrew Israelites, are we under? Which curse? And mostly there, I'm going to go to all that Devarim 28. It is the words Arra, A-W-R-A-R. I will explain that. And the components of that usually, and the fractions of that, it is Kala, Kalala, but the words come from that word either Killa or Arra. But it really has no implication as to what they're teaching you on your corners, all right? Let me move on quickly because I want to finish this today, all right? Yeah. He said, curse this people. He said, peradventure, I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out. And see, that's why we do that. And that's why we speak against each other, because we want to be able to drive them out and overcome them. Why would you want to drive away your wife, man, or drive away your husband, woman? Why would you want to speak things in his mind to make him think something that is against us? They all came out. We are Yah's people. So why would you want to think like that? That you may draw divide and division. Why would you want to go tell someone else, she did you wrong, so then you would turn she come to me, turn her against her, and there's animus. That's not even from hell. That's not even devilish. That's not even evil or wicked. They done you wrong, go tell them. I just feel like you done me wrong. Okay, what did I do? Well, you said that. Okay. All right, let me say this. It was not my intention or purpose to do that. But for you to act so damn childish and immature because of that, and that's silly. You're stupid. You should know everyone about their fruit, the way they labor. You look at me, you come on, I don't know. There ain't but one person up before I am around here, and that's him back there. I'm out. I'm planning every day. I'm planning for the fall. I've got my greenhouse ready to go because I want to grow beautiful tomatoes. And I found my friend back there with the lettuce, but I got it. I said to her last night, we spent, I don't know an hour I did looking for the moon. I said, yeah, please, I was so disappointed, but because I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'll be honest, I'm not going to lie. I was going to say to her, go get that Vita. And I was going to say, tell everybody, moon night, I saw it. And she would weigh in. Your ish would do that. All right, stop it. I guess he must have looked out and said, what is that here about my house for? I'm sitting in every field, I'm looking for that moon. Well, I'm supposed to set at 9:16, 9:17. I got on the little application on the phone, I'm looking. I said, you want to go with me? Go out there, you know. She's worried about the bells. Woman, I want to see the moon. I want us to dance tonight, moon night. And there's no one that can do it like that either. So I'm going to get her and talk on the walk and tell everybody it's moon night. You'll sit me under here. Get in with the camera. And we're going to... I didn't see anything going. I got back about 9:30. We got back about 9:30. I'm sitting up there by Means house. Like, what is he out there for? He said, hurry up, please. That's all. But that's all right. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I was looking for that. Yeah, well, I should have got you at that. I worry about the bugs. I want to see the moon. Nice night last night. It wasn't boiling hot. Stop it. Yeah. Hallelujah. There is one. Let me get to this quickly. I stopped that. Which one? I stopped that. Okay. Let me give you. I want to get to this quickly. Because I got to finish this up. Hallelujah. Okay, let me get here. Now, this one I just read, that was number 7. I read you number 8, which is, number 8 is always the renewing or the rebirth. So, this is what God's going to do with us to understand that we're going to be renewed. Yes. There's going to be a rebirth. It's going to show you the weakness of our flesh. This is what this teaching is going to do today, all right? I want to get to number 9. It is called... Nachad. When there is a nachab, it is a mind and a will of blasphemy. To blaspheme. To break. And we designate one or something in our minds, and we're Pacific. We blasphemed. And when Yah says that I will pour out my nacham upon you, woe unto us. I want to give you a prime example of that. And this is how it begins in us. Listen. In Job, this is Eliphaz. He's repudiating Eob. Job chapter 5, verse 3. Job 5 and 3. This is what Eliphaz says. He said, I have seen the foolishness take root. I've seen the job and the frivolity and the folly take root. He said, but suddenly, so when you allow that to take root in you, he says, suddenly his home was cursed. It was Nahab. It was Nahab. It was a home that embraced the blasphemy of Yah, the blasphemy of his name. Let you come and talk about your wicked Jesus and serenade and strut your Jesus talk. He says, I have seen foolishness take root. But suddenly, not only is this mine, his dwelling place, his home, it was cursed. We can't allow the world to curse our dwelling place. Yeah. We can't allow that nation. We can allow them to come in and to curse. And then we dishonor the name. His name is important. Yeah. His name is most invaluable. He is not a damn dirty dog God. No. He's beyond that superficial identity. Because he cannot be a God. And Hashabtan, the God of this world, and Buddha, and all of them are gods. You will not share his esteem, his greatness, his honor with no dog of a God. You can get that out of your mind. That ain't even about to happen. No damn Lord Baal, he's not sharing that esteem with a dirty dog Lord. We need to get that even out. There are things that we shouldn't even have in our vocabulary. I'm a student of words, nation. I know what I'm saying. Yes. You think my mother meant to hurt me when she would say those things? She didn't mean to hurt me. It was just her ignorance of language. She didn't know what to say. And that was the only way she was limited in her choice of expression. So she was only saying what was said to her. You see that? That's why the curse passed out from good to the young. You no good cow, you ain't worth a nickel. You ain't gonna never be nothing. The great-great-great-grandmother said it to that daughter, to that daughter. Come on, that's how that girl. There ain't no sprinkling of gold dust. I'll set me a pot out for some gold dust. All I need is 1 pound. We're setting it. Yeah? Give me a pound of gold. That's right. What is it now? About $1,300? An ounce of 20-some hundred? Just give me just a pound of it. We're all right. I'll just set the big pan out here and you just bring in the gold dust. That's not how the curse from generation. When y'all talks about from generation to generation, it is that you say the same thing. What your mammy, what your grandmammy said to your mammy, you say the same thing to your younger, and they say the same thing to them. That's what that is implying. Yes. That's how it works. Yes. We're so self-righteous, though. We don't want to say, well, that's what your mammy said. Look at you know, you this, you that. You ain't gonna be, you're good for nothing. You're good for nothing. You're good for nothing. You son of a, my mother used those kinds of expressions. And that I won't use, right? Yeah. Hallelujah. 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 Yeah. That's what Eliphaz says concerning the house. So he's asking Eob, are you that kind of a man? Are you one that is of that image in your house has become so cursed? Well, we must get reproved for our neglecting and our negligent emotions and our ways about Yah. And there is only one that can tell us. His name is YHWH, chapter 1, verse 6. Let me get to that. Oh, man. I don't know if I'll finish it, but I get close enough. I'll give you something to read. This is what Haggai says in chapter 1, verse 6. Haggai chapter 1, verse 6. They were being, Israel is being repudiated for our negligence, our neglect. Do we neglect? We all neglect. Yeah. We all neglect. And this is what the Navi says. You have sown much, but yet you bring in little. You have sown, you have labored, there's nothing. You sow love, but there is nobody loves me. Nobody cares for me. Because you're not sowing that. You eat, but you have not enough. This is one nature that eats, and it cannot stop eating. You drink, but you're not filled with drink. You don't drink in the living water of YHWH HaMashiach. You don't drink from the well, the fountain that never runs dry, and you never have enough. And clothe you, but you're not warm. That's just not the biological, but your heart is not warm. When your heart, let me tell you, we got to warm what the world say. Oh, when your heart is warm, even the youngest and the baby of babies will understand. You're warm, your heart is warm. When you got a cold heart, nobody wants to touch you. I don't want to be around you. You never go to places that you know that, I was in Walmart and the woman was just cold. I just said, ma'am, you don't have to bag that. She got nasty. I'm like, your life has been that harsh to you. I didn't say anything, I just looked at them. And then when you just look at them, they become intimidated because they're afraid. I intend for her to be that way. And I just looked at her. I bagged, but I still looked at her. She didn't want to look because she knew she was wrong. Are you going to do a cookout? I said, not. I'm not immature like you, lady. I did you no wrong. You get angry at someone for no reason. That's evil. That's evil. That's evil. I don't care who you are. You have a cursed mind. You have just what Yah talks about, a nachab. He said, but you have not enough and all that. But there is none warm. You're not even warm. And he that earn wages to put in, they used to quote this all the time back in the days, to put in a bag with nachad. There is nothing, I don't care what is put in you, it's like a bag with holes. That you are that cursed, you can't maintain, you can't retain, you can't retain love, you can't retain care, you can't retain gentleness, you can retain the fruit of haruaka. You up, you're down, you sideways, you land out. You are a sick little puppy. Yes. You're a sick little puppet. That's the nakal, that's that curse in your mind because something has affected you and you don't love God enough to break the shackles of that demonic power. Yeah. Nothing my mother said to me wreak havoc on me. Yeah. Much as I wanted her to love me, I never felt her love. I'm not denigrating my mother, but that doesn't mean I don't know how to love you. Yeah. How to love his children. Want to love the babies? I do. I want to love them. Yes. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Then in verse 7, this says YHWH, consider your own nefesh or your own way. Do you consider that? She did me. Do you consider you? Come on, man. Do you consider your own nefesh? Is it worth that for that kind of nachab, that blasphemy spirit that rests upon you and corrupt your mind that you can't do right, you can't love right, you can't honor right? Is it worth that? You better consider your own way. We consider everybody's ways. Should we tell Yah? See, this is what Yah's directing us to. He's showing us the forms of these curses that fall upon us. And it's not some dust falling out of the heaven. It's not someone saying, I curse you, I curse me then. You're hungry? Let's go get something to eat. Now I'm going to curse. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. What do you want, a hamburger and some Coke? Well, I'll eat that. Well, okay, I'll be right back. You keep on cursing me now. Keep saying what you say when I come back. When I come back with the hamburger and the soda pop and some french fry, well, I appreciate this. Okay, that's cool by me. Yes. When we're that cold and that cursed, we have cursed ourselves. Yes. That kindness don't change us. Something is wrong with you. You're cold in your heart. I'll preach on that, teach on that soon. That cold heart. I don't want to have no heart like that. Yeah. My life, my experience in life won't let me do that. The harshness of things I went through. It won't let me do that. Being hungry when I was young because I left my mother's house in my scrap of rebelliousness. That won't let me do that. Growing up with nothing, that won't let me do that. Going to school with no shoes on, that won't let me do that. Going to school with nothing but sugar and butter and bread for lunch. You didn't get free lunch back then. That's a fact. It won't let me do that. It just won't let me do that. It won't let me do that. It won't let me do that. And some of the students wanted my sugar, butter, and bread because, you know, big old biscuit, which they put butter on that thing and sugar on that thing. But I was ashamed of that. I didn't want that. Going to school with no shoes on, you're sitting there, and you tell the teacher lie, you're sick, because you didn't want nobody to see your socks. And the only reason I had socks is because my cousin took the socks home, he gave me his socks. That's embarrassing. I guess that's why I got to finish about shoes now. Stop it.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. That didn't bring me down. Silly. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Quickly, one more. Let me move from that nechab. Because number 9 is, it's a witness of fruit in one's life. And when this spirit of nechab, this curse overtakes you, there are no fruit there. There are no fruit there at all. I want you to just write this down for your own learning because I want to finish this today. Write down Leviticus 24:11 and Leviticus 24:16. This is all deals with that nechab. Let me read this one quickly. Right here in Leviticus 24:11. I want to show you one of the most perfect examples of the spirit nechab. It talks about 24:11, a Yisraelitish woman whose son, this is what he did, nechab. He blasphemed the name of Yah and he cursed Kala. He gave little account. Yah's name meant nothing to him. He gave little account. And they brought him before Moshe. And the mother was a Shulamite and the daughter of Dibrai of the tribe of Dan. Verse 16 quickly, dropping down. And he that had nachab, he nakab, he blasphemed when we don't care about his name, when there is no power to us in his name. That one that blasphemed the name of Yah, he shall surely be put to death. Not no might. You're going to die. You can't blaspheme his name. You can't give honor to Jesus. You can't give honor unto the Lord. You can identify Yah as Lord because we got drug lords. We got every kind of damn Lord it is. Don't identify. If you do it, stop that damnable mess. Don't call him that. That would just be like me coming home and calling my wife a name whereby it's insulting. It's an insult to Yah. Don't call him that. Be just like calling him a dog. Don't call him that.
Yeah.
He blasphemed the name. Doesn't say the name.
Yes.
The son blasphemed the name. He shall surely not might. He shall surely be put to death. Then all the congregation, listen to what Yah said, shall certainly stone him. This is Yah's command. And he says, I want to give you an opportunity, strangers. You that are not common to you, Soraya, as well as the strangers, as he was born in the land. When he nachab, the name of Yah, shall be put to death. These people that blaspheme his name and say, hey, you don't have to say that, but this is what I was brought up with in hell. You're going to die like a dirty damn dog, just like this boy did. They killed him.
Yes.
They stoned him. You can take it for light. That's what trifling is. You give a little account to it. It doesn't mean nothing to you. So you're not offended by these devils. I am.
Yeah.
As I hear you call on you, God, you got that Holy Ghost boy, don't you? Go on and shout with it. That's what the faggots got too. D.D. Jakes got the Holy Ghost and Billy Hinn, all of these damn devil dogs. I don't want what they got.
Yeah.
This is Nacham. He's not a damn Lord. His name alone. He wants us to know him by his name. Hashem. He did not say give identity unto my authority or honor. He said give honor unto my name.
Yes.
To my name. Hashem. My name. My name.
Yes.
And one knows who his daddy is. just call me sir by Papi. He knows who his daddy is. And y'all say, I want you to know me. And if he can call his daddy when he says, Papa, his daddy knows what he is saying. He's calling his name. If you don't call him something that is ill-fit, you're evil. You are evil, you're evil. He is not a damn. I want to use the other part with that you call God and put the damn part on that. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's a lie. It's a wicked lie. It's not a Lord. He is Yah, his name alone stands against all the powers of hell. And for you to denounce that, don't give honor to that, and you call him some kind, you give some of the superlative to him, you're evil as the one that you receive that from. You're evil and you're going to die. This boy died, didn't he? Yes. Because that's what blasphemy is, not giving honor unto his name, not recognizing and not giving creeds to his name. You can't go in no gang-infested neighborhood unless you give the right sign. You give the sign that's wrong, they're going to dust you up and mark you. Get real! You see why I'm not loved by many? I'm not. That's all right, buddy. Were there many that loved Yeshua? No. Okay, so I'm not offended. I'm not offended if any one of you all don't agree with me, don't like me. Hallelujah. Was not Kephah with him? Did he deny?
Yes.
Even cursing?
Yes.
Saying, I don't know that damn man, I don't know nothing. That's what he said.
True.
I have nothing to do with him. We say the same thing.
True.
We deny the standards of his truth. You can't do that. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I think it was that to show us that when we're going to finish this teaching, you're going to bear fruit, all right? If you listen, if you take heed to what this messenger is saying. I want to get to Kalla. That is one of the forms of curse that's used quite often in Torah. Kalla and Ara. Kara, this is the 10th one. And this is the testimony not only of us, but the testimony of him. And testifying of his power, and that is what these curses they are about. They testify of how we curse each other, how we speak curses upon each other, and speaks about the power of his curse as well. You understand that? So let us examine the word Kalla, 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 K-A-W-L-A-L, Kalla, Kalla. And this is what Kalla is. You're trifling. You're trifling. Yeah. What is trifling? When y'all speaks to us, we don't have that will to do it. That means that your mind is cursed. Well, I don't know what he said, but I think about it. That's what trifling is. Trifling is one give little account to anything that is of great importance. When you're trifling, you don't pay attention to that. When you're trifling, there is no care. When you're trifling, everything is insignificant. It has no purpose in your life. You understand? When I'm trifling with him, my love and my kindness. Do I fuss? Man, I fuss all the time. All right, Zakim, let's sit down, man. Need a popsicle. How many popsicles you want? Give me 3. I said, all right, you get 3. Knowing him, he probably ate 4 or 5. I don't even say eat them nasty things. Not me. I'd rather have a popsicle. And I got those. The only reason I got those lime ones because he said, Poppy, this is the best one it is, the lime. And I said, let me taste that, boy. And I tasted it. This ain't bad, boy. So I got limes too, all right? Let me move on. I want to deal with this quickly. Quickly. It is Kalla. It is Kalla. You give no account to the wisdom, sayings of Yah. But let's begin in bitter. Let me read this right here because I want to finish this. Here in Tehillim Psalms, I want to show you what this Kalla is. This doesn't identify us, does it? Did that identify everything we do? Yes, sir. You understand? I want to read this. This is what David said in Psalms 37. Just one verse for today. Verse 22. I want to say, this is not you. For such as be blessed of him, we that are blessed of him, shall inherit the earth. They that be blessed of Yah, they're going to inherit the earth. And they that be Kalla, those that are trifling, Tehillim 37:22, those that are trifling, that Yah gives little account to of him. He used the word Karath. Yeah. They're going to be cut off. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to cut their babies. I'm going to kill them. And so that thing that we talk about generational curses, it is that what your great-great-grandpappy said to you, boy, you ain't worth a dime. You all understand? And you pass that down to your son. Yeah. It's not someone because you live in poverty. So you tell me that it's daughter there in the city of New York, the Bronx. She got 3 children out of her aprons. And her heart and her desire is all to please you. She's humble, she's real, she's kind, she works hard, and she's poor as poor can be. You understand? You tell me that one of that nature, that one doesn't possess the blessing of Yah? Sure she does. She doesn't do this. Out of the same mouth that we have, we bless Yah and we curse him. You call him Jesus, that's a curse. You call him God, that's a curse. You call him Lord, that's a curse. You got to get that mess out of you. I'm telling us that, nation. I know what I'm saying when I say things.
Hallelujah.
There are certain words I take offense to. I was telling one the other day that you guys don't call us that. No, I know what the word means. I'm not a jackass. I'm not a simpleton. I'm not a fool. It's like calling your child bonehead. They're not bonehead. You don't call them stupid jackasses and fools. I may call them crown tops. They're going to wear a crown. Bubblehead. But I would never call them that. I would never call them that because I'm a student of words. And I know where the word guy come from. It's the guy's fault. They burn an effigy every year in Birmingham. You don't call Yisrael guys. You say they're Hebrew, just call me a Hebrew then. Don't call me no guy. I don't care who it is, I stop them. One day we were together and this woman, she wants to use that word. And I pull up the American Dictionary and I said, now this is what you call your children, a jackass of a fool. That's what it means. She jumped. Did she not? Oh my. You don't call your wife that. Your children that. Fool! You don't call Yah no damn Lord. You ought to be offended when someone says that. Well, they can call their God Lord. But you're not going to call my no Lord. Moving quickly. Hallelujah. You all, there's a great understanding of the word kala. Write this down because I want to finish. Oh yeah, write this down. Genesis Bereshit, chapter 8, verse 8 through verse 11. Genesis Bereshit 8, verse 8 through verse 8. That is, and you will understand the words abate in Genesis. It is kala. It is kala. And kala, that is the 10th form of Yah's curse. But yet, in all of that, we're going to procure out of all of this, we're going to procure a testimony. That's what the number 10 is. It is a testimony. It is the edud. It is the edah of Yah. We're going to acquire that testimony. We're going to honor His name. We're not going to curse His name. We're going to honor His name. That stuff, I don't care how old you is. You need to get that trash out of you. I don't care how young you is. You set in your damn wicked ways, you're going to die that way. That's why folks say, well, he changed at the last. That devil didn't change. He died a devil. You know it's wrong. You know it's right to do it. You don't convert. You know it's wrong. Don't do it. Israel, right? Stop that. Hallelujah. The 11th one is kilala. 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 It is a vilification. What is vilification? When you vilify someone, it's when you speak evil of them. Yes. You speak evil of them in a subtle way. You're pretending you appreciate them and you know you're a lying devil. Yeah. In essence, you know, I love my Zakim, but you damn devil. And then everything after that is going to vilify him. It's going to destroy that. That's evil. It is that's why Yah calls it K-E-L-L-A-W. Kilala. Then nice if you put the K-I-L-L. but it is called hilala. It is the vilify, the speak evil one. I want to show you something what that implies. In Zechariah chapter 8 verse 13. Zechariah 8:13. I'm not going to wait for you. And it shall come to pass, as he was exhorting the nation to be kadosh, it shall come to pass that as you was kilala, curse among the heathens. Look who he's talking to. He's talking to the house of Yehudah. He's talking to Beit Israel. Yah says, so will I deliver you. You shall be a blessing. Fear not. Let your hands be strong. That's why I say, I don't care what one says. I don't care what one speaks. I don't care what they said against me. It doesn't cause me to be trouble. It doesn't make me lose focus. I don't care what. I've been around for a long time. I've had them say they love me today and they hate me the next day. I've had those that come in never come back. I've had those that give, but they won't give a nickel now. But that's all right with me. I'm not going to change one thing for anyone. I'm not going to alter anything for no one. I'm not trying to get a crowd. I want to be in the number when the procession goes into the power of the kingdom. Not just beyond here. I want to go down now. I want to go down now. These people know about me. These groups. I don't care where they are. They know me. I remember about 15 years ago I met those elders out there in Missouri. They don't like me. Elvin Garnet, they don't like me because this is a man that doesn't play. And when I finished, they all just stood back and looked at me. I'm not like them.
Yeah.
Believe me, I stood back and no one even. The only people greeted me, the only person, there was an old German man and two old German women. They were crying. They grabbed my head and said, oh, nobody talks like you. You're just so beautiful. And all the dignitaries, they stood back and looked, but they were afraid. That's a fact. And I'm not taking that back. Can I go look, Father? Zechariah. He wants us to be strong. Quickly one here in Proverbs 27:14. I'm going to read, all right? Proverbs 27:14. We will never do this, will we? Proverbs 27:14 initially. He that brach. When you says Yabaruch, Yabrach, you're praising your Ab. You're praising the daughter. Or you can also use it to curse them. You know you don't mean it, and when you say that, you're speaking a curse. That's what the word barak, it has a dual purpose. I bless you, brother, and you know I don't like him. But you know, oh, help me, God. Help me, God, help me, God. That's evil. I want you all to understand this. It says, he that bless his friend with a loud voice. Oh, sister, oh, brother, I love you. He that barach his friend is ra'ah with a loud voice, and then we get up raising him early in the morning. We know what's in us. It shall be counted a killah to him. It's better for them not to even say bless you. You get up with your moody, stupid attitude in the morning, and you say Yabarach, and you know damn well you don't mean it. You know you're not shouting out the blessings of Yah because you went to bed like a nutcase and you woke up like a Jane Parker fruitcake. That's got to be miserable to get out. I don't get up like that. See, Mama may give her a high five. I may give her a fist bump. I may just hug her. How you feel this morning? I'm not even awake. But I don't get up nutty. Yeah. So when you bless your the daughters on you, and you bless them with your loud voice, I love everybody. You're liar. If it's more the habaga, it's not some kind of verbal expression. Although it's verbal, it has to do with everything. Yeah. Can I ask you all married daughters and sons, you men, you achim something? If you hug your wife and you know it's not good, you tell me she can't tell that? Yeah. Talk to me. Yeah. You hug your husband, you know you got some nut case, fruity mess, and you tell me you can't tell that? And we're crazy. We're fruitcakes. I'm just saying that. That's us as a nation. You gonna tell me I can't tell you? What's wrong with you, woman? No, you're a woman now. Give me some love. Yes. You tell me I can't tell that? You embrace me? You give me a Talos kiss? You tell me I can't tell that? You're silly. Yeah. That's just flat out crazy. Yeah, there are things you can't feel because it opens the heart. And you can tell when that thing right there is working, all right? We're talking about the kilala. Hallelujah. Kilala. One last one. I'm going to read this quickly. Kilala. This is 11:1. Kilala. And it is the power of disorder and judgment. And we are people always in disorder. We're going to get everything in order. When I finish up, you'll understand, all right? One more thing. It says here in Tehillim, Psalm 109, verse 17, I'm expressing each of the forms of this word curse, all right? As he loved Kilala, so let it come to him. Do you understand that, nation? We as a people that we know that we're disingenuous, we're not real, we walk in our wicked ways, it's because we love cursing. We love the action of the kilala in our minds. It's going to come to you, all right? It's going to come to you. That's why when I read that there in Proverbs 27:4, you that rise up in the morning, you bless your friends, you barak them, and you know there's a kilala. And when you speak to them, that kilala is coming back on you. The rooster is coming home to roost. It's coming back. That what you poured out is coming back, my friend. You're not going to get by. I'm not going to get by with anything, all right? It come to him. As he delight not in the blessings of Yah, so let it be far from him. You don't delight in the blessings of Yah. It's a blessing to get up in the morning. It's a blessing to be alive. It's a blessing to breathe. It's a blessing to walk when there are those that cannot walk. Your babies have the full application of their body. They can extreat the waist and all of their babies can't do that. We're crazy as hell. I said that way. Some crazy people. It is the words of your mind that curse you. What to speak to your crazy mind. She's wrong. No, you're wrong. He's wrong. No, you're wrong, man. You can find the wrong about everybody. If you're right, everybody will see how right you is. That's a fact. Everybody wrong, but you're right. The crazy people. We're all wrong. We're all sinful. We're all evil. We're full of that mess. That's why we must be purged constantly, continuously. That's why I must be spoke like this. Not this weak mess that many places are getting this morning. We're going to talk about the tabernacle. Well, let me tell you, it was one thing to show bread. They talk of weakness like that, and people think that's teaching. That's not no. You couldn't arouse me with that. Yeah. You got to let me know what I am. All right, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. And that's what this number 11, this kilala, we know that there's disorder in me. And I need the judgment of Yah. If he doesn't love you, he doesn't correct you. Listen to me, everyone. I want you all to me. Just look at me for a minute. Just look at me for a minute. Listen to me. All right? Can I say this to you all? You listen to me. If Yah doesn't correct you, you're a dirty bastard. Yes. He doesn't give a damn about you. As he loves, he chastens, he corrects, and he rebukes you. He's not going to speak from the heavens. He's going to have someone to say, you're foolish daughter. Man, you're full of your silly ways. Shut your mouth, man. You'll know it's him. That's why you don't rebuke a fool. You rebuke, you correct a fool, you will get yourself a block. He will hate you. Yes. He will despise you. But a man's heart, a daughter's heart, is pure, makes no difference. Everything is true to them. You take everything. I can learn from that. There's nothing, the negatives. You can't even have no power without the negative force and a positive. And the positive has no power unless that negative is engaged. You electrician says, what now? You sure? Sure. All right. So you speak to yourself all positive thing. I'm sweet, you're a liar. Say I'm dirty, I'm a rotten thing. Say I'm dirty, I'm a rotten thing because you are. Yeah. And that's what they're going to give you perfect balance. He's so sweet, my son, and yet you don't see what he's doing out there. Stop that foolishness. I want to go quickly here. I have time. I can finish up. This is a word called SHABBAT. SHABBAT. It's a curse now. And SHABBAT, can I tell you what SHABBAT is? Will you believe me? I'm reading, I have it here, the definitive from the Hebrew lexicon. It is SHABBAT. Can I tell you what it is? Well, I'm going to tell you whether you want it or not. Yeah. This is what y'all hate. SHABBAT is always one attesting that they are innocent. If someone's like, Mama, I ain't doing it. That's what SHABBAT is. Do you all hear me? Yes. This is a curse. This is a curse. It is SHABBAT. 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 It's always, it implies. Its strength is that everybody treat me wrong. I didn't do that. There's nothing that the world can do to me to cause me to become disheartened. It just cannot. First of all, I'm getting too old for that to happen. Even when I was young, it didn't do that. Yeah. What would you do when you, well, I'd go out and run me 10, 15, 20 miles. Then come back in, you don't have no problem. You got a problem with something, go out and work, get off your lazy duff. Yeah. Come in the greenhouse, I'll give you something to do. Step in there with this 120, you'll see how it feels. You'll be glad to go out there. We were sitting out there, I said, sun came with me, the rain began to do. I said, I'm not moving. I'm not moving one step. I don't care if I get drenched and where does they come? Because that was nice. Sit down, lock your say, we're going to sit here what? That is what SHABBAT is, always attesting of one's innocence. Everybody's against me. Nobody's against me. For me to incriminate any of you that way, it's evil. And for you to incriminate someone else that way, you are evil. For me to incriminate you that way, or you that way, or you, or even you, I'm evil. You are an evil devil. I will show you what SHABBAT is, all right? Yes. SHABBAT, attesting you innocent. Always. That's the main priority that I want to approach. Let me show you an example perfectly. In Yeshkel, Ezekiel 21:23. This is approaching the Melech Babel. And we want to hear lies, you're nice, you're sweet. But Yah says, no, you're going into captivity because you're hard-headed, you're stubborn. Look what it says in Ezekiel, Yeshkel chapter 21:23. Ezekiel 21:23. I'm going to move quickly. And it shall be to them as a kasam, or as a false divination. Verse 23, that some kind of magical portion you have determined what's going to be, in their own sight. To them that have sworn oaths, SHABBAT, that you're sworn that she's wrong, he's wrong, but I didn't do it. It's almost like a child saying, Mama, I didn't do it. I can tell you, I didn't do it. Some other SHABBAT. But he will call to remembrance. See, you can say you didn't do it. Look what he's going to call to remembrance. The iniquity that they may be taken. So you're not going to get by. See, you build your bed of iniquity. You're going to die on that bed. You're going down that bed of iniquity. When you build that bed of iniquity, you know you're wrong, and you can even attest that I'm wrong. Just say I'm wrong. I have no problem with that. It troubles me when people think they know everything and they want to say, you be quiet. Yeah. You don't even know what you said. How can you attest to that or say that's right? I mean, tell me, what does this mean? I don't know. But then you don't know. You're silly. When we attest that we're innocent, when we attest that everyone, did y'all sure charge anyone? Because it would have been a curse upon the works that it would have been a SHABBAT. It would have been a SHABBAT. You speak an oath. And folks are so self-righteous, they're so cursing their mind. Well, I tell you what, honey, I don't care how they do it. I'm going to treat everybody nice and I'm going to treat everybody good. You hypocrite. You don't even know what time is.
Hallelujah.
That is what SHABBAT is, SHABBAT. Quickly, Isaiah, Yeshua. Quickly, Isaiah. I'm going to finish this. Yes, indeed. Isaiah. This is the judgment upon us as wicked. I want to show you some Isaiah 65. I want you all to read that. I want you to see this when we look at it. Isaiah 65. Got that? Oh man. Look at verse 15. This is Yah. Yah's judgment upon whom? The Rishah, the wicked. Look what he says. And you shall leave your name for a curse. You understand that? For a SHABBAT. You shall leave your name for a curse to who? Only his Bohir, to my chosen. For the sovereign Yah shall kill you. You all understand that, SHABBAT? For the sovereign is going to kill you. And he's going to call his servant by another name. That's why he loves the word Yeshurun. It's a pet peeve name of Yah that he called Yerushalayim.
Yes.
That's what it is. Yeshurun. That's a beautiful name. Only if you live up to what he called Yeshurun. A city where his shalom is taught. A city, the place where his shalom, that's what Yerushalayim. She is a mother from above. She teaches us Yah Shalom. In death, she teaches us Yah Shalom. In anger, she teaches us Yah Shalom. Right? Yah says, I got a name you don't even know, but don't worry about it. I got it all under control. SHABBAT. That is the 12th indication of curses. Kara. 12, you know what that is. It is the 12 tribes of Israel. It is the 12 tribes. Because the 12 tribes, there's a rule of perfection among them. And that rule comes from this book, Torah. You understand? So he's going to teach us from the book. I'm not teaching you for some kind of essay that some fool has written. I don't even read this trash that men write. Can I tell you something? One of the old men out there in Missouri, I've been getting mail from him for 15 years of that. I have never read one thing. And I've kept it for the last 15 years. I got a place where I got tens of thousands of emails in. I'll just drop it in. I've never read. I know it's shallow, but I've never read that. I've never read men material to get something to teach. All this, what I teach is simple. I teach one word at a time. You notice I'm dealing with that because we're dealing with 2018, 2019, all right? I'm going to disprove all their lies. And next week, there's a teaching that if you miss this, you're in trouble. We will deal with Esau, the hairy, white bastard. I put it that way for a reason. These people are ignorant. Believe me, I'm a student of words. I am. I know what I'm saying. I go beyond the threshold of just reading. I go to the intricate elements of words. That's how dumb I am. All right? Let me move quickly here to the 13th one, which is SHABBAT. SHABBAT. And we're guilty of this one. It's a word that deals with the depravity of a nation, because this is the 13th and the number 13 deals with that. Depravity, apostate, and all of that. We deal with that one before the deliverance comes. 14 is the number of deliverance, all right? That's why we're understanding these curses. And we're going to be delivered from all this day, all right? But it is SHABBAT. SHABBAT. And can I use a word that will give us just kind of wrap it up in one meaning? This is what the word SHABBAT means. SHABBAT. S-H-A-W-B-A-T. SHABBAT. It means when one says the word adjure. What is a Jew mean? Well, we would say in the days we were ignorant. I adjure you in the name of the Lord Jesus. I adjure you. You understand? We were ignorant. We didn't know. But adjure is one thing. Can I tell you what it means? It's something that you repeat over and over and over and over again. So you just say the same thing, you begin to believe a lie. That brother did me wrong. You say it over and over, you begin to believe a lie. That sister's not nice to me. You say the same lie. It is a cursed mindset. Yes. You understand? You better wake up. I'm talking to us as a nation. We better get spiritual. This is what it means. I want to show you quickly. One more before I close. Hallelujah. 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 Here in Bimidbar, chapter 5, verse 19. Bimidbar, chapter 5, verse 19. Quickly, I want to read, and 5:21. This is the word SHABBAT. And the Kohan shall charge. You see, you're given a charge or an oath. It is SHABBAT. And so when one wants you to understand something, they say it over and over. You that are parents, do you say the same thing over and over again? Yes. And it still hasn't registered. And Yah says the same thing over and over again. It still hasn't registered to us. It says here, and the Kohan, the priest, shall charge her by an oath and say to the woman, we are the woman of YHWH HaMashiach. Have we been faithful? We haven't been faithful. And this is the ordeal with the woman, whether she's been faithful to her husband. She'll say to the woman, if no man have laid with you, and if you have not gone aside to uncleanness, and another instead of your husband, then you're free from the bitter waters. From the bitter waters. That's what we do from our mouths. You can't get sweet and bitter water from the same well. You are bitter, that's why your words are bitter. Your words are full of curses, all right? He says, instead of your husband, so you're free. Well, the conclusion was this, verse 21. Then the Kohan, that's why he said to her in verse 19, he used the word SHABBAT. He repeated over and over and over. He adjured the woman. Verse 21, then the Kohan shall SHABBAT the woman with an oath of cursing Allah. Oath of the covenant, that if you have not done that, you're free. But if you have done, the oath of the covenant says this was going to happen. And the Kohan shall say to the woman, Yah make you and Allah a curse. And then, and SHABBAT, an oath, because you lied, you said that I didn't do it. Now either you did that thing, or you didn't. If you didn't, your thigh's going to erupt, and everybody's going to see how dirty you is. And so that's what we do. We're tested, we're innocent. Yes. I ain't do it. Well, how many children do that? Ah, hypocrites, we've all done it. Yes. We're tested, we're innocent. Everybody's guilty but me. I tell all of you all, I don't give a damn if it's she or anyone. If anyone is always coming to you or saying something to you about that one or this one, you stop that. Yeah. Because that spirit is going to take you to hell too. Hallelujah. Yeah. Hallelujah. When a child is doing wrong, don't you tell them they're doing wrong? Yes. Come on here, somebody. Hallelujah. When a child is doing wrong, don't you tell them they're doing wrong? Hallelujah. Are we children of Yah? Yes. Are we children of Yah? Yes. So when you're doing wrong, shouldn't somebody tell you when you're wrong? Hallelujah. So it takes a motherless spirit to tell you when you're wrong. Yeah. But a damn hypocrite won't tell you when you're wrong. True. Those old folks in my days can tell you, they can tell you when that was a lie. They can tell you when you were wrong. Hallelujah. They can tell you that spirit was one that was conjured up and they knew no Yah. They had a decency and a righteousness about them.
Hallelujah.
You can't find today. They had honor. That's the fact of the matter. I'm old enough to know that. I'm old enough to know that. They had an honor with each other. And they spoke with honesty. They lied and said, well, they may twist it a little bit and embellish it. But they did not come blatantly telling you a lie. The one that was a liar, everybody knew that he was a liar. All right? The one that was a hoe, everybody knew she was a hoe and a liar. All right? That's what it says. Yah shall make you a curse and an oath. Yah says, I'm not going to test your innocence. And this is what that curse was. He says, you have a test that you are innocent. You are saying that you haven't, but the proof is in the covenant or the curse of the covenant. If you did it, woe unto you among the people. And what Yah does make your tongue to rot and your belly to swell. Read the rest, all right? You're testing that you're innocent, but Yah said, no, we're going to find out. And wear that out among us today, that we know when someone is lying. You don't know it. I don't know when someone's lying to me. I say, no. I don't forget things I say because I limit my conversation with you. I talk about y'all. Come on, brother. Brother, come on now. I'm going to close with this one. There's more to that. Let me read this one quickly. I want to show you the true description, Yerusha, the one that do not have the curse of Yah. It's found in Tehillim, Psalms 15:4. 15:4. Yeah. This is what it says. This is what David said. This is the true Kedushim or the description of one. It says, in whose eyes a bazaar, one that despises, one that, well, that's what a bazaar, not a bara, buzzard or the flesh. But a bazaar. This is, it says, in whose eyes a vile, one that despises, one that has disdain, they hold one another in contempt. In whose eyes a vile person is condemned, despised. But he that honors them that fears Yah, if you honor them that fears Yah, he that SHABBAT, he that swears in his own hurt and change not. You say things, listen, you know it's hurting you. You don't change your ways, you don't get right. You swear to your own hurt. When you SHABBAT, when you attest you're innocent, and everyone else is guilty, it's going to destroy you. We got to get real, nation. We need men to teach us about me, all right? We need those Yah bless the Achim, that they're strong and knowledgeable and wiser, much wiser than me, because it's going to take more than what I can give you. Did they take the same thing for the Shalishiyah of the apostles? For what Yeshua? They were mocked and they had cruel punishment. Yeshua just hung on that stick and he died. Then they couldn't even break his bone. But they were in prison, they had cruel punishment. Cruel. That's what's coming. That's what's coming. And that's in fact the last one here I want to read quickly. It is called Ta'Allah. It is only mentioned one time in Torah. There are three that bears witness with all three. There's a union. There are three that I mentioned to us that are only mentioned one time in Torah each time. There's no other word that you can find. You cannot find that word associated with any form or any kind of wording in Torah. How do I know? I search every singular verse. It is called Ta'Allah. It comes from one of the main words of curse. It is Allah. Allah, just like Allah, them, they're Allah. They're God, all right? I don't repent of that. I want to read this. Only one time in Torah. It's found here in the Lamentation of the prophet Jeremiah. Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 64. This is the 14th form of the word curse. And it deals with the number 14. We're going to be delivered. Deliverance is coming. We're not going to speak the curses. We're not going to act in a form of curse. We're not going to allow those things to captivate our mind. Lamentation It says this. This is what the prophet says. He was a weeping prophet, wasn't he?
Yes.
But he says to Yah, render to them a recompense, O Yah, according to the works of the hand. You want Yah to do that to you? Yah, forgive me of my sins. I'm an evil, sadistic, evil man. I can't do without the dam. Of your great power, your living power. But he prayed to Almighty Yah. You see, if I prayed like that, we would think, when I say to us, I don't know how to pray for your son. But this prophet knew how to pray. You pray for everybody, but your prayers ain't worth a damn. There's a bishop out there in Tennessee. I said to him, you have no power of healing. All your healing is internal. I said, well, heal the one that you said you love. His daughter is crippled. Lay hands on her. Well, I ain't got that far, and he will never be that far. There is no healing power today in the land. I'm going to prove that in my teachings to come, all right? There's no power of any organic healing, and these men are liars, and these people are gullible. They buy their lies. The Pope, anybody that become of sainthood under the Catholic diocese, is one thing that must be proven. Some kind of miracle had to be performed by them. And they lie like land dogs. They lie like land dogs. Ain't no healing. He sends his word today. Yes. To heal us, to restore. What? That doesn't mean that you got that pain. My friend up there got that pain in his back. That pain is not going to be in his back. But to restore, that's what the Rapha is. That's what the healing of God. He sent forth his word to heal us, nation. To restore our mind and our hearts back to the way of Torah and the way of truth. And we'll walk circumspectly right. And we'll receive the correction of Yah. Yeah. This whole body is going to lay down one day, and you're going to die, whether you die healthy, yes, whether you die sickly, you're going to die. Either way, it makes no difference. Hear the word of Yah, nation. Yeah. He said to Yah, render unto them the recompense of Yah, according to the works of the hand. Look what he says, give to them sorrow of love. Oh Yah, I repent. This is what the prophet prays. You will lay hands on Yah, give this man sorrow of heart. He's a liar, he's a devil. Give to them sorrow of love. He says, your, is that talking about Yah there? That your there? Your curse. A messenger, say that. Your curse, your ta'ala, your curse to them. Is that what he said? He said, Yah, you curse them devils. If a messenger prayed like that, we will raise him, because you know what? Because we're self-righteous. Yes. Then he says in the next verse, 66, he said, persecute and destroy them in anger, your resentment, your contemptuous spirit against them. He said, destroy them. Kill them all. Kill them all. This is a nopi of Yah. You lying devils that call yourself a prophet. There's not one prophet in America. There's not one prophet in the world. There's not one Shudishiach, no apostles. These lying devils. They're not prophets. Forgive me, Yah. They're pseudo-prophets, but they're not the Nabi of the Nabi'im of Yah, all right? They're not that, all right? He said, persecute and destroy them in your anger from under the Shemayim Yah. And that's a bold prayer, isn't it? Isn't that? If I pray like that, you would get mad at me. You get mad at me for some less than that. I've given us 14 accounts of the word curse. This is our deliverance. What is our deliverance? Truth. I've given you truth on every aspect. Yes. I've given you the pure word of Yah. Has I been trained? This did not come by the disposition of some man, not by mine or my reading. It came straight from the Torah. And I want to close with this one last verse, which is the totality of the curses. I will read it, and you find it. I'll tell you where to look, and you find it. It's found in Devarim. Let me read it. But it shall come to pass, it shall come to pass. If you will not listen, doesn't it say up here? If we shall listen diligently. Doesn't it say that?
Yes.
He said, if you will not listen to the voice of YHWH. Is he talking to us today?
Yes.
Yes.
He's in the midst.
Hallelujah.
He's in the midst. His Ruach is in me. The life of his word has come forth. He says, the voice of YHWH. Why should we listen to him? To do this in this order. To observe, to do all of his mitzvot. To remember his name. To put no damn God before him. Undoubtedly, there are other gods. Undoubtedly, there are gods. Undoubtedly, there are gods. To take his name in vain, we can't do that. He says to do not some, but all of his mitzvot. To do all of his statutes, which I commanded you this day, that all these kilala, that someone vilifying you and speaking evil to you, someone reviling you and being abusive to you. He said if you do that, all these curses shall come upon you and they're going to overtake you. That's why people are crazy today, because this one is vilifying them. And this one is the curse of Arab, one is speaking against that. This one whose mind, they pretend that they're innocent and they know they're not innocent. They're guilty as sin is. And they're so self-righteous and so indignant of their wicked, evil ways. And that's why the curse come upon you. You can't think straight. You can't love right. You can't be kind right, nation. And that's your problem. I'm not your problem. I'm the doctor that you are sent. I have the stethoscope and all. Show you what it's going to take. And let me say this. You don't even have the power to rectify your ways. Only he can. Only he can. And how does he do that? Well, I want to hear positive things. He just gave you something positive. You're evil, we're wicked, and we're all in the same boat. So why? If we're all in the same boat, I think it's best for us to work together, keep from drowning. Don't you think so? I think if we're both together, and you can't swim, get on the side, just paddle your foot, and we turn this boat over. I think it's best for us to work together. Wouldn't you think so? So let's do that and stop your silly, immature ways that we may be strong. All right, may the riches of God. I want upon you all. The blessed and children of the name of YHWH, He strengthened us with his finger, and rejoice the kindness of his spirit fire. Oh, that's where she is. Of his great blessing. Hallelujah. That's what we have today. I've never seen it that low since we've been on here. Huh? I've never seen that number. That's what we have on them. Wow. Something ain't heavy right there. I ain't buying that number. I'll know what we have when I go with that and click on and see how many it is. So may y'all rest upon you. Listen, Israel, if there's a group that's coming from Augusta, Georgia. I don't know if it's Augusta, South Carolina, or Augusta, Georgia. Here on next week, there's an elder down there. I've never met him, so we're going to do right. We're going to treat them. As a matter of fact, his wife saw me do that lamb that I did on the rotisserie. And she's a vegan. I'll tell you what, I'm a vegan, but if I was there, I'd eat some of that. And so I said to my friend, I don't even know the act, but Zakim will be calling him this week and getting in touch with him. Zakim that I've got to serve things. He says there's 21 of them that will be coming. That's for adults as children, all right? So we want to treat them kind. I said to Imam Rafael, and we do some rotisserie chickens and all the other wonderful things. And I said that I would do some lamb, some mutton for his wife and all of those. So you got to take care of me one, all right? So we can do that. It's a wonderful thing. The whole hot tub is pleasant. It is for the team to dwell together in unity. Like a precious oil. So I want them to come, and when they come, he's going to get here. We have everything set for them so they can relax before service began. And they're supposed to be Pastor Stevenson. He's the pastor from Kenya. And what I say, I would say to Pastor Stevenson, he's out there with Yahweh, with the congregations out there in Missouri. It's a sad shame because Said the most powerfully rich preachers in the world, they all come from the continent of Africa. And that reason I've been young and I'm old, but I've never seen the righteous. I've been young and now I've never seen the righteous forsaken or seed I begging bread. They come to this country, and I would tell them that when he comes here, because he's not coming here for money from here. And I tell them that. When I was helping, that stopped me from that pastor getting money. He was spending the money on him and his children. And I'm not going to be a part of that. And he's going to be here for about 3 months in America. Don't tell me that the money is not in Kenya for you to do what you need to do. Don't tell me you can't raise enough money when some of the richest preachers in the world are there on that continent. Don't tell me it's not that. You take the money instead of making sure your son got the best of schooling. You take that to give it to the little sister. We're going to buy food. We're going to set up a little food stamp. You cook this every day. People will come and buy. And then there'll be enough for you to live. There'll be enough for their assembly. These are greedy individuals. They don't do that. And so I don't send them a dime. I don't even respond to them. Because I know the first thing. Oh, brother, I found you. I would like to be a part of this. Every now and then I respond, I say, well, you are part of it, you and YHWH. And then that's when the door opened. We will invite you to come to Kenya, to come to Nairobi, to come to India. But it costs a lot of money. And man spending that kind of money to come to America to beg, that's what they come to do, beg. That's what they come to do, beg. They come to America to beg. And they would take the monies back. I remember when I was in Kenya, I met this liar of a preacher. He had just come back from Britain. He had purchased on those raggedy highways over there, even roads that I rode out that look better than. You understand? He had purchased a Jaguar. He had on a 100%, not the 150 count wool suit, but a wool suit. I just looked at it like you silly little boy. And I talked to the people there the same way I talked to you. I told them, man, get off the lazy butts. They were carrying water while I was there. I said, your customs don't mean a damn thing. Look what your culture has done. You're poor, you're dirty, you can't even take a bath. You don't even have water in your community. Get out of my face, man. So we don't want to hear it straight and right like that. We don't want to hear that kind of truth. And I'll tell that Pastor Stevenson to become, we don't need you to come and preach to us. We don't need you to come and tell us nothing. I'm not being called Yisrael, because if he can't show his people how to come out of the perditions and the condition they're in, teach them how not to be selfish. And they can do the same thing we've done here. Teach them how to take the monies and let's use it together and skill the young men. Send the sister to corn cooking nothing but roasted corn every day. She'll make enough of us and more, and there can be funds coming in. They ain't going to do that. We're going to live above everyone. I live like you. I live the same way you live. I eat in the dining hall this evening like you, all right? I don't want no steak dinner. I don't want no steak dinner. I don't want that. And I get up in the morning, I work just like you, all right? At least a few hours in the morning. So I'm not impressed with that. I'm not impressed with him. I haven't seen him one dime over there. This man goes to Yisrael, in the little slither land they call Israel. He goes there, he goes to India. He met me 20-some years ago. He just doesn't really know me. Because I was telling him, I'm not talking behind his back. I would tell him when he comes. It's a shame. You're away from your wife and your children. That's a fact. Yeah. That's a fact. So this brother that's coming in his family, seems to be a very sweet brother. I'm looking forward to it. And his wife, I said, I'll do a lamb. Mutton. It would be sweet. Well, I'll do it right. I will. No spicy. It's going to be simple and roasted and nice with a nice texture flavor. I don't mind doing that. I enjoy cooking for Yah's people. I don't care how I feel. Something is wrong when you that have that skill set when you don't enjoy doing that. One thing I love about her mother, she loved cooking for me, and I can eat too. And I could eat. Still can. Do me a whole chicken. She would have fried chicken, roast beef, Oh man, I would go out that morning and run me about 10, 15 miles. I would. Because I want to eat all day long. And I will get there before time. I'll sit down. And she would be so happy that I would eat all that food. And she tried to tell me, don't eat some. No, 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 no. You don't tell me that, woman. Sit down. I don't care what her husband thinks. But you know, I don't care what he thinks. Do me a big plate. Give me some of that. Give me some of this. Come on. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. And then when I will eat on the meal for a week. I'm not one that throw away food. I eat, if it's 3 days later, I eat leftovers. I do it all the time. That's a fact. I eat my leftovers. I may eat half now, and tomorrow, what do you want? I said, well, I got that from yesterday. I eat that today. What do you? We got some collard. Bring me the collard greens. And that's the way I am. I don't care if it's fried chicken or fried beans. I eat that the next day, and the next day, I eat it until it's gone. I just so she would cook like that for me. I would run it down there every day, go down and give me a plate. What? Give me some of that beef. Give me everything. Just give me some everything. And she'll come back with a huge platter, and I will eat it. And he would get upset. So one day I said, buddy, let me tell you something. I don't know who you think. I don't think you've been in 50 years. You don't know who you're dealing with. I took all his heart that one time. I got right up on him in his face. But I'm not here to play with you. I don't know who you think you are, but you don't intimidate me one bit, buddy. Not one bit. And he was just as sweet as that you could be after that. He'd never again mess with me. I'm not afraid of you, man. You just been in prison. I used to go and sponsor prisoners out. You didn't fear me. You stand back and look at me, so what? I'm going home, buddy. You got to sit in prison. I'm going home this evening. I got a beautiful wife. I'm going home. You got the boys to hang with. I'm going home. You think I'm afraid of you? Like you silly boy. Man, one fellow said, man, I'll knock you out in here. And old Pastor Carl Turner, he was in prison at that time. He looks at me, and he looks at the one that's going to challenge me, and he said, baby Jap, I don't know, but look at that man. I would have knocked him out with one blow. This is what your life has been, prison. Making men afraid of you, but I'm not afraid of them. That's why you're in prison and I'm out there. May the riches of God rest upon you all. Be strong, Israel. Let us stand to our feet. Hallelujah. We turn toward Yerushalayim. As long as we're in the captivity of this bondage of our mind and our mental state, and all things we do, Barak, I offer your blessings of riches and Yeshua's mighty name. Bless your nation, your people. Heal us all because we're in great need of your Rapha, your healing upon us all. Strengthen your people. I want to pray for Zach and Tamasya with a special prayer. And all those that join in with me, touch him. Heal his body. Only you can heal him. He's been a kind man to the work here for many, many years. I pray your healing upon him. And bless me to go see him, because of his condition, make a way, I know you will. You've already done that. We ask in Yeshua's mighty name, bless our Akamika, touching his back, and all those that are in pain or having some kind of battle. Heal us all, touch us, above all mentally and spiritually, and heal us in our bodies where we live at. Bless your nation, that we care for each other and love each other with a great love. We ask all these blessings in Yeshua's mighty name. Hallelujah. 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 Yahweh.
You can't get them serious. That was well. but not a new paint. I'm taking my shoes. Yeah, it's too long to get told. Well, how about you? Look at us. Ain't that pretty? Yeah. You go host a kid before you weigh me down. Guess you done host a kid. I did. It's the same. It's the big knife. The wheels. She said, well, yeah, yes, man, and then you want this match on one. Okay, that's what we did. He'll take care of you. You said with me. Did you understand this?
Let's get something to eat. I'm hungry.
Because I knew you was that tall. I'm thinking this is different. Put some buttons down the front and do I didn't follow the